And as I say, please feel free to ask any questions as we go through. My name is Adele, and I'm here to guide you through exercise, safe exercise, nutrition. I will give you a little bit about myself as we go through. But if you feel comfortable, please write in your questions in the box as we go, or you can just put your hand up on that side there as well if you want to ask a question. I'll answer them at the end or halfway through, but it would be great if you could just put your answers in the question box. Now, ladies, I want your full attention this evening, so please turn off Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Stop twitting. Put them in the question box as you go, as you think of them. So any questions that come to mind, there's never anything such thing as a stupid question. I want to hear them, so make sure that you put them in the question box. And have a beautiful listening position. Sit tall by your desk, and maybe you can go grab a pen and paper. So it'd be really good if you grab a pen and paper. Welcome on board, Ellen. Really good to see you here. I'll stop saying hellos because it'll take all night. But I'm really pleased that you're all here. Hi, Fiona. So tonight you are in the right place if you are looking for something new rather than going the same old way. And you're going to find out tonight fats and which ones don't make you fat and in fact are positively good for you. Low-fat dieting isn't the way to achieve health, and I will explain why. I'm also going to explain the difference between good and bad fats and how to balance your good fats. And the good fats are saturated fats. Oh, that sounds a bit strange, a bit unusual. Your monounsaturated and your polyunsaturated fats. Now I'm going to make this easy to implement because I'm going to give you 6 healthy nutritional habits that you can take away this evening and work with straight away. And one of the members said to me recently, if you know your body, you will respect your body. For me, the whole premise of Get Gorgeous is education. If you know stuff about your body, it is very, very hard to do something negative with your body. I like this, confused.com. So if you're confused.com, I am here to give you dietary information. And I recognize, I know, I'm a busy lady just like you. I know that you're overwhelmed. I know that you're busy, and I know that particularly at the moment, nutritional advice is incredibly complicated and contradictory. So where do you turn? I know you've probably taken plenty of advice already, but you haven't been able to keep the weight off, or perhaps you end up being at square one, where you always end up, and that's very depressing. But I want to tell you, it's not your fault. It's the way that the nutritional world has shifted over the last few years. But if you want to change your relationship with food completely, then tonight's the night. That's what we're going to do. If you get to 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night and think, oh, sod it, and go and get some sweet treats, I'm going to explain why you feel like that. So you might be a complete newbie to nutritional education, or you might be a supreme athlete and you're looking for some fuel tips. Or maybe you're an experienced dieter and you know that they just don't work. I've worked with a lot of experienced dieters and I know the mindset that you can get into. But the one big thing that you are definitely going to learn tonight is that fats can help you to manage your health, and they will help you to be happier and have more energy. And that's probably contradictory to what you've been brought up with. It certainly has been for me. Now, I've written an ebook. It's called Diets Don't Work, and in that ebook, which is available on my website, it explains why diets distract you. They give you another set of rules on top of being busy, which simply, basically don't work. And then because you're on a diet and then it fails, you feel like a failure. Generally, diets are far too complicated. They genuinely don't need to be. Eating advice doesn't need to be complicated. You don't need to know how many points in a can of tuna. You don't. They have no education. They don't explain why things are as they are. And also, there's nobody really there to motivate you. And I hope you've seen from my stupid videos on Facebook that I'm a big motivator. I'm going to applaud everything you do. Um, and when you're on a diet, you're very, very emotionally involved. It's really hard to step out of that emotional attachment. So the way that I work is that you have a positive habit, which is a hell of a lot better than a strict rule that you've got to stick to. So my strategy is creating habits, not rules. So tune out if you feel like this young man and you're not interested in becoming healthier, fitter and more shapelier. If you can't commit an hour a week for the next few weeks, it's fine. Don't worry, there'll be other opportunities, but if you haven't got the time, that's fine. But if you haven't got the time to pay attention to your gorgeous body, so I've been a fitness and nutritional professional for a long time. I'm a precision nutrition certified coach. That's my background. I'll give you a little bit more. But people that have worked with me, and this is a member's comment, I'll just give you a little insight to what it's like. Some of you I know on the call and others I don't. So just a little insight into me. This is somebody's comment. They said that the Facebook page, we have a private members Facebook page, and it's like a secret wonderland where everyone is wearing the same shoes, because Get Gorgeous is only for women. All the ladies are lovely, very motivating, and this member preferred a female community. It's very caring, it's very, very nurturing, and we understand each other. I'm very pragmatic in my approach. I'm very structured in my approach. It's the way that I rule my life. It just gets things done. So the way that I've put programs together is that it's in bite-sized chunks. And for this member, that really, really worked. So here I am in New Zealand. This is the Mecca, New Zealand, Les Mills body training systems for most fitness instructors, and I had the opportunity to go there last year, and I got my husband to take loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of photos. And so I'm a BSc Honours, I'm a weight loss coach specialising in nutrition and exercise. I like to be called a gorgeous coach because I think calling you gorgeous really enhances how we feel. And I think it's a nice, lovely name. It sets the tone, and I'm used to working with a huge range of health issues and weight issues because I'm a specialist in Pilates and safe exercises. So I absolutely love what I do. And my secret mission is to help you to enjoy exercise and enjoy your diet and know what's healthy to eat. So here's a convert to exercise. This is somebody who before I started working with her, hated exercise. She wasn't interested at all. And she joined my online group, and she was told that the website was down. And I could have the night off. Now, you would think I would be delighted. I certainly would have been in the past, but no, I was gutted. So much so that I took the dogs out to the playing field and jogged. Yes, jogged. And that's a little horror-stricken face. What have you done to me, Adele? I am now addicted to exercise, teeth gnashing. I'm a totally different person to the one that started this journey almost 12 weeks ago, and I am so thankful I decided to turn up. I'm just settling down with my cup of green tea and a handful of mixed nuts. Life feels great. Now, if that feels like way out of your league and that's never going to happen, don't fret, because I have ways and means of making this kind of feeling happen for you. So here's what you're going to discover today. Which fats won't make you fat and which are good for you. I am going to debunk the low fat myth, and I'm going to bring in the big guns to prove it. And I'm going to show you how to balance your fats. It sounds complicated. It really isn't. And I want you to learn how to add these fat sources as a habit by using my checklist and working with me. And I'm going to offer you 6 nutritional solutions, so really simple habits that you can implement right away. So this is what you're going to get at the end of the session. So I really want you to stay to the end. And I want you to review your daily intake. You can tick your fats as you go through the day, and this checklist will help you to create a permanent habit. So it's a little summary of what we're going to talk about this evening, and you'll receive this wonderful, beautifully graphically designed tool at the end of the session. It's called a fat chart. Okay, so this is me a little, not so long ago, have to be honest. I never consider myself skinny. I mean, I have got a big bum and I'm proud of my bootylicious bottom, but I was always quite fat as a kid. I was always referred to as thunder thighs. And I remember the school trying to get me involved in a cross-country race, and I thought I could do it. And fat chance, I had no success at school. It was literally too difficult for someone like me. I was too overweight. I didn't did I understand that? Not really. I thought that I could go out and run a big race, but I couldn't. I went on to university. That's me and my little sister, and I have tried exercise. I tried an aerobics class while I was at university, because my housemates used to come bouncing in very annoyingly with their great legs, bounce in front of me, and they'd tell me that all the boys were noticing their legs. And I thought, right, okay, let's go and give this aerobics class a session. And it was ridiculously fast and high impact, and I lasted about 3 seconds in it and I had to leave, and I blamed myself. So my first aerobic session, or first exercise session, was a nightmare. So I then went off to work, and I worked in Edinburgh for such and such, and that was my first job. And again, I tried exercise again, because the receptionist offered us free enrollment to a local gym, and she handed it over to me and she said, well, you won't be going along. So I don't know if I was just being bloody minded or whether I thought I actually enjoy it, but I went along to this session, a next session, and I loved it because I fell in love with the chap who was taking the class. I thought it was fantastic. But it's always difficult. I mean, it's never, didn't want to show you that page first. It's never an easy journey, because when I started to work, I then had an injury which stopped me from exercising, and then my first kid came along, lovely Benjamin, and my weight ballooned, and I didn't exercise very much because, again, I couldn't. But then in 1998, I met my mentor. I started to go to lectures. I started to study with somebody called Patrick Holford from the Good Nutrition Bible. And he started to change the way I fundamentally thought about food. And I started to look at it as nutrition rather than just the enjoyment for food. And so I began to practice food nutrition. But it wasn't easy, because in those days I had a lot of pals that would just poo-poo me, ridicule me, think I was a bit crazy, and didn't really understand what I was trying to do. So it wasn't easy. Friends laughing at you, and lots of work commitments, which meant there was huge setbacks. But then there was a huge gap in my life. There's a 9-year gap between my children. And that's because I had infertility problems. I had what they called secondary infertility. And what that means to my story is that in 9 years, I spent a lot of time looking at my body, why it wasn't functioning in the way that I thought it was. I tried everything that was out there, from Chinese medicine, acupuncture, reflexology, healers, osteopaths, obviously nutrition, relaxation, meditation. And the reason I'm telling you that is because I learned a lot. I learned a huge amount, and I got there in the end. I really understood what was going on in my body. To be honest, the infertility, I think, was a mental stress that I was putting myself under. There could have been nutritional issues as well, which over time I was able to sort out. So I learned a huge amount. And this isn't me, this is a customer. This is a gorgeous member who just suddenly decided, right, I'm going to take a photo and put it on our private members Facebook, and she's given me permission to show you here. So I'd like you to put me to the test, and whether or not you ever buy anything from me, whether you do the tummy challenge or not, or anything else, today you're going to understand and benefit about what you eat. and what is making you so unhealthy. Now, this gorgeous member lost 9 centimetres off her waist in 2 weeks. And another lost 5% body fat in 2 weeks. I mean, we normally aim for that in a month, but she got 6 centimetres off her waist. It's phenomenal, and it's not because of diets. It's not, you're not following a strict path. You're incorporating knowledge into your daily diet. So whatever you're eating at the moment, it's fine. But there are things that you're going to increase and there are things that you're going to decrease. And I can promise you it's as simple as that. Here's another lady. Now, this may or may not mean anything to you, but this gorgeous lady used the principles that you can apply today. And we use a positive approach to weight loss. So we think about the things that we can do. And once you understand these principles of food, it becomes easier to implement. And the word forever is there for a reason. This doesn't go with a diet. It's not 6 weeks and it's gone. This is 6 years, 6 decades. It's with you for life. And you look at the food you can eat and the food that makes you leaner, fitter and shapelier. So this lady was able to take her wedding ring off. And that was a huge moment because she hadn't done it for about 5 years. Now, have you ever considered, and I'm sure you have because you're here this evening, but it's your food, it's your diet that's making you feel under the weather. Now, you've probably been a bit like me and gone off and done all sorts of different things to get things in your life on an even keel, but it could be as simple as your diet. So, Kickstart is the 6-week program. It keeps things simple. It's as simple as increasing your protein and fats and keeping your carbs until after exercise. And I aim to make this simple. So you've got 6 habits, and those habits last a lifetime, and they're encompassed in 6 nutritional modules. Plus, on the Kickstart program, you get exercise, 6 different exercises, and 6 adherences as well. So you report back to me. So some facts here. Fats are good for your health. Fats provide an excellent energy source. They are the most energy-dense macronutrient. So what I mean by a macronutrient is your protein, carbs and fats. They're all macronutrients. And what I just want to say very quickly is that diets and reducing calories is based on the premise that 10 grams of carbohydrates have got less calories in them than 10 grams of fat or 10 grams of protein. So what people do on a diet is they cut out the calories, but they then eat carbohydrates because there's less calories in them. But what carbohydrates do, because of the insulin in your body, is make you hungrier because you need to satiate that insulin increase in your body. If you eat fats and protein, you don't get the insulin kick, therefore you don't get as hungry. And now that takes a little while to get your head round, and it's a different way of thinking to the way that we're taught. But diets have been oversimplified. If you have an energy source which is more dense, i.e. if you eat a fat or a protein, they're going to keep you feeling fuller for longer. So you'll have to eat more carbs to keep you feeling fuller, but you eat less fats and proteins. And that's the way the world is changing. That's the way the nutritional thinking is changing. Fats balance your hormones. Now, if you're like me of a certain age, perimenopausal, hormone balance is a big must. And you can do it very simply through nutritional work. You've seen me bounce around like a lunatic. I'm coming up to a big birthday. I'd like you to try and guess which decade. And it's really important that I keep my energy up. And I keep it up because I work with the food that I eat. So every cell in your body needs fat. So if you've been on a low-fat diet for a long time, you haven't got the fat that you need for protection, for cell protection, because cells are made of fat. And growth is created in the cell from fat. So if you've been on a low-fat diet for a long, long time, then your body has starting to pay the price. Fats help to regulate your body temperature. Now, going back to that sort of perimenopausal conversation, body temperature is a very interesting subject. We all want to know how to keep those flushes down. And fats are good for shiny, happy, healthy hair. I don't dye my hair. I am really lucky, perhaps, or it could be my diet. My diet is really good. I've got very healthy hair, healthy skin, and healthy nails, and it's because of what I eat. This is historical. This is what this is what we're doing at the moment, but it's based on history. And Sir Michael Mosley has started to doubt this Eat Well plate. This is the Eat Well plate that is given out in the NHS, and it's given out to children in the primary times, and this is what we work towards. Now this side is your vegetables, great, there's a bit of fruit in there as well, and this are carbohydrates. These are carbohydrates. Vegetables are carbohydrates. And then you've got this other a third of carbohydrates, starchy carbohydrates. And these break down, especially potatoes and white rice, and bagels, oh my word, bagels, they are all sugars, simple sugars. So this whole part of your plate that we're being advised to eat is carbohydrates, which rockets your insulin through the roof. Fats, look how tiny the fats are, and they're margarine and they're sunflower oil. They're the wrong fats. This whole Eat Well play is out of date. And the reason it's out of date is because it was based on what the NHS talk about. And I love the NHS. It's fabulous. It's superb. But it's just that the movement, nutritional thinking is moving so quickly. But in the 1950s, they did a 7-country study by a chap called Keyes. He's the scientist, Keyes, that did this 7-country study. And he had the ear of Eisenhower, the President of America. And he, on the best intentions, felt that fat was creating the problem. So therefore, he reduced the fat to a minimal. But there was a similar survey, similar research done by a British scientist called Yudkin. And he believed that sugar and carbohydrates are sugars, simple sugars, some of them are more complex, but I'll talk about that later. He believed that heart disease and obesity was being caused by sugar. So we had 2 different theories. And what happened was that the Keyes theory prevailed. Very strong personality, very powerful. He believed in what he was saying. And now we're getting to the stage where we're overturning what he said. Basically, and this isn't my words, these are Michael Mosley's words, we are basing our science on a hangover from 30 years ago. It's out of date, and this belief system has been locked into our conventional wisdom. So if what I'm saying tonight is really confusing you, I'm not surprised, because we've been brought up to think that cereals and carbohydrates are the way forwards, and they really aren't. Here's Michael Mosley. I'm going to call him Sir Michael Mosley because he is a person of interest, he is a person of authority, and he is beginning to doubt what we have been talking about. He talked on the Jeremy Kyle show, you've seen me talk about this on Facebook, he talked about Yudkin. He has gone back to the original research and he is changing his opinion because he saw his father die of diabetes and high carbohydrate diet. So he has said that the research based in the 1950s created this low-fat industry. And he has pulled out that the 7 countries that were used didn't include high-fat consumption countries like France. Oh my word, look at the way that France eats fats, and Germany eats huge amounts of fats. Well, they weren't included in the original study by Keyes. So they haven't got the heart issues. So is it fats? They spent billions of pounds trying to prove that low fat doesn't cause heart problems, and they haven't proved the link. And we're beginning to feel that that foundation is shaky. So Now the obesity problem is really burdening the NHS. So you've got people like Trudy Deacon, who's a very important nutritionalist, and she is going down the high fat route. And you've got the Public Health Department, Simon Capewell, who are basically at loggerheads. There's two different things going on, and that's why nutritional education is so difficult at the moment. But we are waiting for the evidence to catch up, and people like Sir Michael Mosley are changing the way that the public are thinking, and I'm so grateful for that. So there's my happy avocado. I like him. My aim is to get him into every workshop that I do. He's a happy avocado. He's a happy fat. I'm going to talk about a happy fat later on. So Trudy versus Simon, nutritionalist versus public health. I'm not trying to make it a them and us. I'm just trying to explain why it's so conflicting. So Simon's approach is the normal established approach. He talks about low-fat milk. He talks about low-fat products. And the NHS pushes forward the Eat Well plate, and it's in the primary times, and it was before half term with me. Now, part of Simon's approach, part of the public health approach, is eating plenty of potatoes, bread, rice, potatoes, pasta. I've said potatoes twice. I do like potatoes. So I think that's subliminal. And they're always going down the low-fat option. Whereas Trudy, on the other hand, is completely against it. She is advocating cream, butter and saturated fat. Now her claim is 85% saturated fats. So that's quite a strong claim. And it's difficult to stand against the established view. It's difficult to go against what the Public Health Department is saying, and I get it. But isn't that how change happens? And I promise you, by coming on this workshop today, you are the people that are beginning to understand this change. This will be huge. It will change the way that we think. And there's Michael Mosley. This is the insert from The Garden. He's saying, I'm proof that eating fat can be good for you. So there's Michael Mosley coming out and saying it, front page of a newspaper. So let me be specific. Let me explain a little bit this evening. So get your pens and papers out, and if you want to ask me any questions, now's your time. Put it into the question box. So which fats are making you ill? Well, we all know that cakes and biscuits are bad for you. Why? Not just because they're full of sugar, but also because they are full of trans fats. And this is us getting into the nitty-gritty. Trans fats are fat molecules that have been deformed. They've been heated high process, and it's called hydrogenation. So if you see a label and it says this product contains, hydrogenated fat, you know it's a trans fat. Excuse me a minute. So your commercially baked biscuits, cakes, muffins, pizza dough, microwave popcorn, that's a real baddie, crisps, sweeties, margarine, you like me, brought up on Flora, and all these wonderful health-giving properties of a margarine, they're processed foods, hugely processed foods. Avoid them. Avoid trans fats. Sorry. And anything with hydrogenated fat in, it's not good. The things that are deep fried, so that's why fast food is so bad for us, because the hydrogenated vegetable oil is what's used in fast food restaurants, and that's what is really, really bad. So avoid food which doesn't go mouldy in a week. That's what clean eating is all about. Avoid food that doesn't go mouldy. And when you're looking at your low-fat ready meals, it might be low in saturated fat, but it is high in hydrogenated fat to increase the shelf life of the food that you're eating. So what you want to look at when you look at your labels, look at your total fat and make sure that the trans fat has got 0 grams. Okay, so I'm not asking you to look at calories anymore. You're not counting calories. Forget it. It's out of date. I explained why earlier. Look at things like trans fats, and if it's got a trans fat in the label, put it back. Homemade cakes, fine, because you've made them, you've got butter in them, you've got real food in them, fine. But trans fats from your cookies and your biscuits, leave them there. Now here is the god of good food, coconut oil. You cannot have been around in the last 6 months to a year and not heard about coconut oil. Coconut oil rocks. Coconut oil will make you healthy. Coconut oil is a saturated fat. Now, what have we been told about saturated fat? Don't go near it. Coconut oil, I mean, I put that in because it's got all these little advertising benefits to it. Increases your metabolism. It's antibacterial, it's antiviral, antifungal. It curbs hunger. It's what I was saying earlier about fats and proteins. They make you feel fuller for longer. Coconut oil improves your cholesterol. It improves your skin. It boosts your brain and supports weight loss. And it reduces this high rise in insulin. Excuse me, I've got to take some water. Now, so saturated fats is things like animal fats, butter, eggs, cheese, and coconut oil, which I really want you to start using. And contemporary research has shown that saturated fats actually increase your levels of good fats, HDL. So you increase your good cholesterol in the blood, and therefore that benefits the heart. So the whole theory that saturated fats are damaging your heart is changing. Coconut oil is benefiting your heart. Now, I'm not saying sit down with cheese and wine at the end of the evening and eat bucket loads of it, but you can have a cheesy omelette. And for some people that have been on a diet for many, many years, that's really hard to accept. Eat cheese? Yes, you can. So the whole fat dairy option makes you feel fuller for longer, and saturated fats are okay. They're good for you to eat. So here I've just picked up any coconut oil. You can get loads. All of the supermarkets sell coconut oil now. It's got hugely powerful health benefits. You preferably go for the virgin coconut oil. And the reason it's so beneficial is because it's stable when heated to really high temperatures. It's called the smoke point. When you put an unstable oil, like your salad oils, for instance, walnut oil, if you try to cook with that, it would smoke instantly, which means that it's oxidizing and it's producing baddies, it's producing nasties. They're called free radicals. So a low smoke point, so if you're frying something and the smoke point goes up really quickly, then you're creating free radicals. But if you have coconut oil, it won't smoke for ages. It'll get to a really high temperature and you won't see any smoke. That's why it's good for you. You can also slather it on your skin. I have done that. Free radicals act like trans fats. Now, I explained why trans fats are so bad. And trans fats and free radicals increase bad cholesterol and decrease your good cholesterol. So that's another reason to avoid trans fats. Another type of fats is your monounsaturated. Now, these are found in nuts, avocado, hence my happy avocado, extra virgin olive oil, peanut oil, and sesame oil. Now, peanut oil and sesame oil, great, but you wouldn't cook with them. You'd use them in your salad. Extra virgin oil, you can cook with it. It's got a fairly high smoke point, but if you really are going to fry, go for your coconut. So one reason why a handful of nuts, seeds, or half an avocado make a perfect snack. So half an avocado or a thumb of nuts, which is about 7 nuts. So unlike sugary cereal bars and chocolate, snacking on nuts will stabilize your blood sugar levels and sustain your energy. It will keep you on an even keel. Whereas if you have a chocolate bar, your insulin rises, you get exhausted, up and down, and you need something, you need something, you crave more carbohydrates. So if you change the way that you eat, you won't have the craving. So that's another big point to get your head around. You won't want to grab another chocolate bar in 5 minutes because you're satiated and your body is working on what you've given it already. Now, I'm a big fan of eggs, and eggs have got polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fats. They're a goodie. So polyunsaturated fats, so I've talked about 4 types: trans, saturated, mono and poly. So we're ignoring trans because they're baddies, but the other 3 we need to balance out. And you eat your polyunsaturated fats, and you can find that in sunflower oil or oily fish. I eat a huge amount of oily fish. I'll start showing pictures of what I eat at lunchtime, and generally it's mackerel with salad, or I'll eat a lot of salmon. But omega-3 is something I'm going to talk about very briefly. Polyunsaturated fats can be broken down into 2 types of omega-6 and omega-3. Our food chain is full of omega-6. It's being fed to our cattle, and it means that we are out of balance. We've got too much omega-6 and not enough omega-3. Now, omega-3 and omega-6 need to be balanced because they do the opposite job. So omega-3 reduces inflammation, whereas omega-6 increases inflammation, which is good because if you've had an injury, you want it to sort itself out. But because the diet is slightly out of kilter, not by anything you're eating, just by the diet that's in the system, you need to up your omega-3. And omega-3 is the healthiest and most essential. It reduces your stroke risk. It increases your heart function, it builds brain cells and helps your nervous system. Now, omega-3 is available in walnuts. Well, I ain't eating those, Adele. Okay, how about chia seeds? You heard of chia seeds? If you've been on my protein workshop, you'll have heard of chia seeds. You can look them up on Amazon, you can get them. Flaxseed oil is a brilliant source of omega-3. Seeds, flaxseed seeds. Kale, that's why the Aussies go nuts on kale. You know that you can buy baby kale in Sainsbury's? Go and buy it. Spinach, any green leafy veg is going to have omega-3. And the reason I've got my egg there is because that has got omega-3 in it. So eat more eggs. These fats, these omega-3s, are anti-inflammatory, which means they reduce your risk of injuries and chronic disease like eczema and asthma and all the inflammatory diseases that arthritis and things like that. So to optimize your health, your weight loss and your exercise performance, you need to balance your fats. So you need to balance your poly, your mono and your saturated, and you need to balance your omega-3. What do I mean by balance? Okay, so I'm just going to explain that, but let me know right now, because I need some feedback. I need to know how you're feeling about this journey, if I'm going too fast or I'm going too slow, or if what I'm saying is gobbledygook. I need you to tell me. So go into the question box and tell me right now, what's your biggest aha moment? Oh, really? Coconut oil is so good? So feed those comments in to the little question box. You just click the little arrow and type in your question or type in your biggest aha moment. Brilliant. Oh, good. They're coming through. Fantastic. That's it. So I'll just take a few moments. I'll take some water while you type in your aha moment. Brilliant. So the questions are coming through. Thank you very, very, very much, because it makes it more exciting for me, because I know that you're engaging and you're interested. So Sue's asked, you mentioned flaxseed oil. Does this have a high smoke point? And if not, what would you do with it to incorporate it into your diet? See, that is a brilliant question. So flaxseed oil, you can use it as an oil, but you can also use it as seed. Now, as an oil, you could use it on your salad. Okay, so that's what I would do with flaxseed oil, but it doesn't have a high smoke point, no. So don't cook with it. Please don't cook with it. It's a very delicate oil. It's a very beautiful oil. It's got loads of health benefits, but don't have it to cook with. Never. Have it in your salad. Have it raw. But you can also get flax seeds, and that's what I use. I crunch them up, or you can buy them already crunched up, and I add them to my salad. So I'll sprinkle them on my salad. Kids never notice. Or I'll add them to my porridge, which is a little bit earthy, but I've got used to it. You can change your taste buds. So thank you for that, Sue. That is a brilliant question. So Gail's saying, I've read that saturated fats weren't considered so bad anymore. Good. So you're on board with it. Brilliant. Thank you, Gail. But I didn't know about balancing the fats out. Yes, they need, and I should have said that, so you need to balance a third, a third, and a third. And the checklist that I give you at the end will show you how to do that. So you need, say, a snack time, you'll need your walnuts for your mono, you'll need your avocado for your poly, you'll need your... So there's things that you can do. You can select from the list what you need during your day and how you can balance a third polyunsaturated, a third mono, and a third saturated. Okay, and I'll give you the list and it'll help you to do that. So thanks for that question, Gail. Thanks for that aha moment. My biggest aha moment is finding out that fats are good for you, Ellen. I know it's a huge step, and I do understand it because I work with people all the time, and we've been brought up to think that fats were something that you didn't go near, and I hope that I've explained why that happened. It was done with the best intention, but it wasn't. It's not nutritional thinking anymore, but it's become institutionalized. And when anything becomes institutionalized, it's going to take a long time before things change. And it will change. And you are the first to hear it, or you're the first to take it on board. Oh, look, Kirsten's just started using flaxseed oil. Great, job done already. Fantastic. Yes, Anne, fantastic comment. So what Anne's just said, does this mean we can eat full fat milk? Yes, you can. Cream, yes. Yogurts, no. Yogurts, generally, and I've got my favourite yogurt, and you'll know that if you've been on my other workshops, yogurts, especially fruity yogurts, have been added sugar to them. So I wouldn't go for yogurts unless, of course, you mean natural yogurt. But there is one yogurt called FATS, which I get told off from pronouncing incorrectly, that's got protein and it's full of good bacteria as well. So it's FAGE. So Kirsten's asking a good question. Is sunflower oil good to... No, I don't use sunflower oil. I use saturated fat coconut oil. Okay? So I'm going to leave that with you because I know it's going to take a while for people to change. Interesting. Could never put oil on salad. Oh, really? Because that's all I ever do. I use olive oil. That's all we've ever been brought up with with my family is olive oil and balsamic vinegar. End of. That's all they ever get. So think about it. Yes, yes, Gail's going to use coconut oil on her eczema. Go for it. I do it all the time. I come down for breakfast and decide if I'm going to use it on my face and my chest or whether I'm going to use it in the frying pan. So, good. The one big thing we've learned today is debunking that low-fat myth. And now you've heard it, now you've heard me talk about it, you're going to hear it more and more. You're going to be tuned into this, and so it's going to make more and more sense. So stop buying low-fat products because they take out the fat and they add sugar, and that's why we've got an obesity problem. So the low-fat product also contains trans fats. Trans fats are really bad for your heart as well as your whole body. Don't count calories anymore. Look for hydrogenated vegetable oil on your food labels instead. And balance your healthy fats, saturated, mono, poly. Coconut oil is good for everything, including your bum. Okay, that's just me being daft. I saw that advert and I thought I've got to hand it in. So Get Gorgeous Kickstart. I'm going to make the impossible possible. That's not me, far too young. I'm going to give you 6 education lessons to form your new habits. So you've learnt a little bit about fats tonight, but did you know that your water is just as essential to your body, to your health, to your hair and everything else? Did you know the different types of exercise that you need to do? Or the fact that protein is an essential part of your diet and should be upped, that your vegetables are going to help to improve your body, and you know that. You know that vegetables are good for you, but did you know the types of vegetables that you need to use? Carbohydrates, there's a lot of meaty subject about carbohydrates. There is a place for carbohydrates, but it's not as often as we're doing. Think about this. If you're having cereal in the morning with a glass of fruit juice, and then you're having a sandwich at lunchtime, and then you're coming home and you're having a traditional meal, meat and 2 veg and a spuds or pasta or whatever it is, you are on a high carbohydrate diet. So you're actually eating a lot of your food from carbohydrate source. What was the last one? Can't remember. Sugar. Well, carbohydrates and sugar, for me, are one and the same thing, to keep it simple. They're not. There's obviously different varieties. If you think of vegetables as your good carbohydrates, and think of your starchy carbohydrates, like your bread, your pasta, and your potatoes, as a little bit more cautious. That's a clear way of thinking about it. So Get Gorgeous Kickstart, the first module is all about water. Now, I'm just going to give you a little insight, but 0.5% loss of water in your body affects your heart. Really? Well, if you're 60% water and you lose 0.5%, your blood gets much thicker and it's much harder for your heart to pump the blood around. So drink water. If you get as much as 6% loss, you get physical exhaustion. More than that, and you are mort, dead. So water is good for you because it dissolves your food. It acts as a lubricant. I am a Pilates fanatic, and lubricating your joints is something that obsesses my thoughts. Water, as a lady of a certain age, helps you to temperature regulate. And it acts as a catalyst within your body for all the cells to do their little jobs. Did you know that exercise has 3 types? You've got your cardio, your heart and lungs, your flexibility, and your weight bearing. You need to implement all 3 types in order to be happy and healthy. So I see a beautiful, flexible yoga lady, but she hasn't got the cardio strength. I see a runner, but they haven't got their flexibility. I see a weightlifter, but they haven't got any flexibility. Drives me nuts. Do a bit of everything. And that's what keeps you fit, healthy, and gives you longevity. Exercise is essential for your bone density. It is essential to keep your brain active and keep the aging process at bay. So do your exercise. These are the little chia seeds. Protein. Because insulin, which I've talked about a lot, insulin's a great hormone. It's absolutely fabulous, but it's being overworked. Now you can keep it at bay by having food that produces insulin in a measured way, like protein. Protein is essential for muscle repair, and essential amino acids is really important. I'm not going to get sidetracked by talking about this, but there's so much to tell you about protein and why you need it, why it is essential to your body. And now module 4 in Kickstart is all about vegetables. Why vegetables and not fruit? Because that's what I've talked about, isn't it? Vegetables. Vegetables contain all your micronutrients. Your micronutrients are your vitamins rather than your macronutrients with your carbohydrates. So micronutrients are your vitamins and your minerals. And vegetables have an alkaline load. So if you're eating a lot of fats and protein, you need something. They're acid. So they're acid in your body. So you need to go back to alkaline. You need to bring that balance back. Do you remember pH 7 from chemistry classes at school, the middle bit? So if you're eating a huge acid intake, lots of proteins and lots of fats, you need something to balance it. So that's why vegetables. And obviously, they're brilliant for your digestive health. Carbohydrates. Starchy carbs after exercise. Replace the glycogen, which is the glucose in your body. It's the energy source that your body uses, is used up during exercise. But go for complex carbs. Don't go for quick sips of fizzy drinks. Sugar. Big subject, sugar. Lots of people are becoming insulin insensitive because their insulin is going absolutely nuts. And what happens, because you've got such a high sugar content in your diet, is that your body gets responsive to it, so it has this Pavlovian response. So you remember the dog, you know, the dog, every time it heard the bell ring, it used to salivate. Well, your body's doing that because every time it sees food, because it's so used to the sugar content of your food. So it takes a while for your body to sort of get over that response. And if you can have more time between your meals, you're more likely to burn fat. That's another big statement, and I'm happy to explore that with you, but not tonight because I've used up a lot of your time. And you can't use your fat stores in your body until insulin has left your body, left the building. So if you're on a high carbohydrate, simple sugar diet, insulin is constantly in your system. You're never going to burn fat. Okay, so that's a big, bold statement. And I understand it'll take a while for that to sink in. But insulin, as I say, is a wonderful hormone, but it has to be treated with respect. My little machine is taking its time to catch up with me. Come on, sweetie. There we go. So in the Kickstart, you've got adherence. And this is what makes the members so successful, because it's all very well knowing this knowledge. You can take this knowledge with you tonight and you can build upon it, which is what I'd like you to do. But it's the practice of actually doing it. It's as somebody telling you, like Roz, who I think is superb, someone telling you, okay, how have you got on this week? What have you done this week? How have you, let me see your diet sheet and let me see how much protein you've had this week. Okay, where's your fats? You missed out your fats on Thursday. What's going on here? So if you've got a healthy habit, you need someone to stick to your guns. You need someone to tell you, okay, let me hear what's going on, what's happened. And your adherence can go for everything from your nutrition to your exercise, or just the habit of getting into repeating back the module. And also the habit of your mates, soul support. And that's what Get Gorgeous is brilliant about. That's what that member talked about right at the beginning. Now, we are the average of the 5 people we spend time with. So if you've got positive, successful health, weight loss achievers, which is what you get in the members group, then their attitude and success will reflect on you. Your community will help you succeed with your goals, and you share on the forum. So this is one of the customers. I won't talk it through. You can read it if you want to watch the recording. So daily affirmation is part of your soul support, and a French pharmacist proved that affirmations work. He taught every day to his patients and say, every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. So thinking positive thoughts and getting into your exercise. Exercise is retrospective. That's me at the beginning of the race, not looking very happy, but then the serotonin, the happy drug, comes in, and I'm loving it right at the end. Now, sugar releases the same happy drug. Both are addictive. So my job is to swap your sugar rush for an exercise rush, and that's what happened to the member at the beginning. The fundamentals course is a bit more involved. It's got a lot more work in it. It's got 12 modules as opposed to 6, and I'll talk about that if you want me to. But here is this is a genuine member. This isn't theory. I've worked on these affirmations, exercise routines, and nutritional habits. I've changed my life, and I've changed members' lives as well. So I've done all the hard work. You can see some of the results on here are absolutely phenomenal. This is a lady, this is a member who was on the 12-week course, the fundamentals course, but even in 6 weeks or in 8 weeks, we can see here, she's still got staggering results. I mean, the measurements are done in centimeters, and we do skin fold measurements as well. And because she did the measurements regularly, it became another key to carrying on with her success, because she knew it was being very positive. This is another member. This member is a little bit older, and look at I love her legs. Look at her legs. They're amazing. Now, exercise gives you shape. And that's what's happened here. So she's done the shape, she's done the exercise, but learning to eat properly with the exercise has meant that she's changed the shape, she's lost weight. It's my job to make sure that you feel happy about the food that you eat, you get enough exercise, and you change your relationship with food so that you become leaner, you become fitter, and shapelier. So I'm not sure why you showed up today. You may never have dieted, don't like the sound of it. Or you may have been working towards your perfect weight for years. You might be here just because you want to find out how to be healthier. You might be just curious to find out more. But I hope you get this one big thing. The secret of becoming healthier, to becoming leaner and losing weight, is creating habits and sticking to them. Eating the right food without feeling starving. Eating the right food so your family, your friends are proud of your health. They look to you for advice, because that's what will happen. Because they'll see you change shape, they'll see you able to leave food on your plate because you're satiated. It does happen. So the module habits are handed out chunk by chunk in the right order. They're simple, they're easy, they get under your skin of your old weight loss psyche, and they work on changing your belief, your subconscious. So in a short period of time, you will lose weight from your waist without dieting. It is not hard work. So the obvious question is, how do you apply all this? Well, you can do it slowly, spend hours, make the decisions, trial and error, take away what I've told you today. But if you are time poor, this might not be viable, and it might even cost you more money. So I'm offering you today the Kickstart 6-step process. Okay? It's the quick step into nutritional thinking, different way of thinking. It's got all the adherence sheets, so you come back to me and you tell me how you're getting on. And these habits are designed to give you permanent health, weight loss. And they work on educating you. You cannot lose education. Once you've got it, you never lose it. It works on exercise, soul support with the group, adherence, and it is absolutely the cheapest way to get from being overweight and feeling guilty about the food that you're eating, hiding the ice cream in the park, we've all done it, and depressed about where you feel. So don't leave your happiness on the table today. Don't keep doing what you're doing, because you're going to get the same thing. Start your healthy habits today. Go ahead and apply what I've done today. So how do you do Kickstart? Well, they're nutritional food modules and exercise classes, and they're delivered via emails. All you need is Wi-Fi. So you get access via the email, you give a click, and it takes you into the members' website. And you get a visual, you get the video there of the exercise, you get the video of me talking about the education, so you see me, and then you complete the adherence sheet, and you concentrate on one thing at a time, and that's what makes it successful. So you've got easy habits. So your progress, well, it's slow, because you're not going to lose 6 stone in a day. You know what I mean? All these highfalutin, quick success. It's not like that, because you're working with who you are now. You get the exercise videos, you get the nutritional videos, you get the adherence sheets, and there is no travel involved. So your first module is ready right now. Your success is inevitable because it's broken down. Your success is inevitable because it works at your pace with what you're doing now. It complements your way of life. So I'm not going to say to you, here's a meal plan and this is what you need to follow. Oh my God, I've got to change everything tomorrow. No, you take the food that you've got now and you implement what you need. How we work together to find out some more, but you start with where you are now. Does that make sense? So you're not having to do something from scratch. You get a new understanding of your body and your food, and each module creates that long-term habit. Now, here are some of the results. I know you want to hear and see these results. So people have lost body fat. Body fat is the measurement, not the scales, because the scales lie. The scales could be how much water you've drunk the day before, or how many times you've blown your nose that day. I'm being silly, but you know what I mean. Body fat is the thing to measure, and the clients lose fat all over their body, and their blood pressure drops. They lose pounds on the scale, but that is incidental, and their pulse and heart rate changes because we are making changes from within, as well as the body composition. So how much is this going to cost, Adele? Why do you keep talking? And why haven't you told me how much this is going to cost? Well, this has cost me thousands of pounds. Happy to do it. I've spent a fortune on coaching. I've had people mentoring me. I've spent a lot of money on course fees. It's okay. It's cool. I like it. I've got 18 years experience. Now, I reckon this has cost me 25 grand. So this course is 20, no, I'm joking. It's nowhere near that. You can have the fun and join for a fraction of that cost. Now, if you think I'm about £85 an hour consultancy fee, you can get access to me on the program whenever you want. I'm booked up. I've got so many classes to do and so many things to do that looking after my members is my number one thing. So the only way that you really get to know each other is on the course. This is cheaper than your gym membership that you have never used. This is cheaper than all the products that you've bought that just haven't worked. It's £89. Really? Yeah, that's all it is. 6 weeks, £89. And if you're feeling nervous about that, if you're thinking, oh, I can't find that money, or it's too much of an investment, really, in yourself, giving value to yourself, that if you're feeling nervous, there is a money-back guarantee. There's no questions asked, and you are going to see £25,000 to get my logic. So there is a guarantee, and it's £89, and there is a bonus offer as well. So not only are you paying £89, I'm also going to give first 3 people, can't do it for everyone, but the first 3 people that come through on my website will get a 3-day dietary report. I will analyse what you're doing, and I will pick out the things that we can change together. And that might not be something that you do instantly, but it's something that we work well together. This is worth a lot of money because you're getting a nutritional appointment with me as part of the program. So this is a really good bonus offer. I can only offer 3. Only 3 people. So the first 3 that sign up are going to get that bonus offer. So I'd like you to go to this page right now. I'd like you to go to get-gorgeous.com, and you'll see that scary photo of me. It's not a photo, it's a video. And then, see, that's the private members login. But if you join online today, if you press that luminous green button there, or I think Discover More takes you to the membership options, or it says there membership options. So that's more information, join Get Gorgeous. That's the nutritional sessions that we did a few weeks ago, and there are your weight loss tools, things like your water challenge, your walking challenge, and your abdominal 10-day challenge. That's all there. But what you want to do right now is join online today, either that green button or the membership option. So go and click that. Go to get-gorgeous.com and click the join online today. And this, then you'll go from there into jump in. And I've missed out a page. There's a page where it says Kickstart, £89, and then it'll say Fundamentals, which is more expensive. That's £297, and then it will go into the Premier. And the Premier is working one-to-one with me, and that's exclusive. So you've got 3 options to choose from. I'm talking to you tonight about Kickstart. And once you've clicked that, once you've put your details in, you'll be asked to go to here. You'll say, I'm a new user. You create a username. You put in your first name, your last name, your email, and then you create a password and your address. And it's that simple. It really is. So go and do that now. And whilst you're doing that, I'm just going to talk to you about what the other customers thought. So this is a lady that I've worked with for a while, and who was really disappointed and upset with herself. She used to obsess about food, constantly thinking about sugary food, crisps, wine, and all the rest, and walk around all tense and self-conscious all day. Now, I don't want you to feel like that, but now she feels totally energized, totally on top of the world, because she's joined the Get Gorgeous program. And she's actually completed the Get Gorgeous program as well. Sorry, I'm also trying to... Sorry, I was listening to what everybody was saying and seeing the questions come in. I'm also trying to multitask and bring down all the... I can't do it. I'll have another go. I'm trying to give you the FAT list as well. Put that over there. So let me find that. So if you've got any questions about jumping in, now's your time to ask me, because we're going to finish the call, finish the workshop soon. So if you've got any questions, please put them in the question box. And as I say, only the first 3 people will be able to get... Why is that not pulling over? Okay, got it. Only the first 3 people will get the nutritional one-to-one with me. Oh, great question, Kirsten. Thank you very much. How much time a day will Kickstart take up? Well, the module is about 30 minutes. So you need 30 minutes a week to read the module, to watch the module, and then you get a sheet. So you'll get a worksheet, not to test you, but it's a download of what I've said. So you've got a visual learner, and you've also got you've got that to take away with you. So that will probably go in your head for at least a week. So it's only half an hour. And the exercise, well, if you're already exercising, that's fantastic. So that's part of your week. But what I would love you to do is do the exercise module that I give you 3 times, and they're half an hour each. Okay, so what I'm asking is probably half an hour's education a week, and maybe up to an hour's exercise on top of what you're doing. And the exercise is, you start off with a high-low, a cardio, and then you have one that's half an hour just on your abs, and then you've got a Pilates one that you haven't seen before, and a legs one, and you've got a really horrible graduate HIIT one as well. And what you'll do, I hope, is start to mix and match. So that's a brilliant question. So I would suggest you need about half an hour a week for the education, and another hour perhaps for the exercise on top of what you're already doing. So it's an hour and a half a week. You don't have to do that, but that's what you're going to do to get the best results. But you have got this information with you for as long as you want. So you can go back and refer to it and come back to it whenever you need to. Right, that is now uploading. The fat chart is now uploading. Oh, no, it's not for some reason. So what I'm going to have to do is email it to you. Okay, for some reason it just won't drag and drop, which it used to do, but it won't now. So I am going to end the call. Okay, I'm going to say goodbye, everyone. If you've got any more questions, now's your chance to ask me. This is another customer comment I had to share with you. They're not doing the modules as they asked, but the pounds are slipping away. 5 gone now. And what I really love and what gives me such pleasure is that it's not it's not strict. I mean, yes, you've got me looking at your adherence, but there's nobody sort of saying, well, why haven't you eaten 250 grams of this, or why haven't you eaten, because that's not the way life is. It's much simpler than that, and it can be simple and still lose weight. Okay, so we've been brought up with all these hard and fast rules, but it doesn't have to be like that. And I know because A, I've done it on myself, and B, I've done it on my customers. So I've guinea pigged them. Thank you very much, Sue. I'd like to see you on board the Kickstart, Sue. I know we can work well together. I know that I can help to make you just happier and healthier. So I'm going to say good night. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I will email you as soon as I can with the fact chart. And if you don't get an email, don't forget to email me back. So I'm going to say goodbye, everyone. It looks like you're not coming off the call. All right, I'll speak to you soon. Take care, lovelies. Bye.